Morning, welcome everybody to my chess stream here. I'm here with the Panda. What's up, guys? Good morning. Today we're going to be playing Unusual openings with blitz and rapid chess. You can challenge us to any time control between 5+3 and 7+3. Okay? Good to see you guys. I had a good rest. My face is not as smashed in as yesterday, so I'm hoping it's going to be a good one. And good luck, everybody. Subscribers first and challenges. Have fun. So, Panda, thank you for the introduction. We're going to be playing Unusual openings today. I'm not sure if Panda mentioned that. I think he did. We try to play this Wednesday stream just to make it more fun, experimenting with different systems that I probably wouldn't normally play. Not to play totally trashy openings, but to mix it up and play different stuff outside my normal repertoire. And I encourage you guys to do the same. Hyper Potzer, yeah, G4 is like my least favorite Unusual opening, probably. I never play the Grob. I have it's against my religion. Okay, my neck felt a little better today when I started thinking about it. Yeah. Anyway, Asterbate, good to see you. Thank you for the Panda emotes. If you guys do subscribe to the stream, if you subscribe to Tier 2, you get a Panda emote in addition to the Sladgie God mode emote, so that's a reason to do so. Good to see you guys. Hyper Potzer, Asterbate here already. We're just getting started a couple minutes late. Sorry about that. Lost track of the time. It's 10:05 where I'm at. The Halloween Gambit. The Frankenstein Dracula variation. Asterbate. We can think about that for the upcoming holiday. Do you know about that? So let's get started here. Let's get some challenges going. Hopefully I don't have to go to the random challenge board. Clash Kid is here. You really changed up the time. It says JoeCow17. I changed up the time? Well, I started 5 minutes late, basically. No, I mean on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I do the stream in the morning at 10 a.m. Central European time. And on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, I'm doing the stream in the evening at 6:30 p.m. Central European time. So, Central European Summertime, or so-called CEST. But I will be changing the stream time seriously. We're going to be moving for 6 weeks to the United States. So that's going to throw everything back to the way I was doing it in the summer. Much different. It'll be like a temporary change, be bouncing back and forth over the next year or so, probably between the two time zones. So it'll be interesting. I'll keep you guys posted. When I do change the time, I'll try to change it on lichess. I have a channel there. Not a channel, but a team on lichess. I am Sparkle Horse. You guys want to click on that and join my team on lichess. I'll post the change in time there, as well as of course on Twitch. I'll try to update the times. I'll be leaving in the middle of October, and we'll take a couple days off. Probably start streaming around October 17th. I might not be streaming between the 15th and the 16th. I'll be traveling of October. But for Halloween, for the Frankenstein Dracula variation, Asterbate will be back in the United States. So if you guys want to trick or treat, just stop by. Let's get started. Let's get some challenges. Clash Kid, Asterbate, Hyperpotzer. Anybody wants to challenge me or otherwise, feel free to do so. Let's see what we got here. They kicked me off the top 10 rapid players list. These weird accounts just keep popping up who are miraculously good at rapid chess. I like it when people are 2200 in blitz and 2600 in rapid. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I understand, Clash Kid. If nothing else, I could take a challenge from some. We can do a challenge, some random game here. I could do a rated challenge. I never do that. That doesn't rhyme. And I read a dirty poem like that once, Infinite Flash Chess. We have no subscriber challenges, but I do have a challenge here from HGG, who was very successful in our. He was very successful in our tournament yesterday. I just want to say, Pichu won it. I was second, and HGG was third. You know, not being that high rated, it's a very good result. So basically, I take the subscribers first. If there are no subscriber challenges, however, I'll take the challenges I get. HGG challenged me to Chess 960. This is a little weird because today's a weird opening stream. So normally I wouldn't do the Chess 960, but since we have no other challenges, I will take it. You don't have to challenge. Nobody has to challenge. Juicebox Wizard, hello. Feel free to send in a challenge. All right. So it's supposed to be weird opening stream. I don't usually do the Chess 960 on those days because there are no openings in Chess 960. Kind of defeats the purpose of the Wednesday stream. But as I said, Panda is poo. Okay. Panda's not happy with you. It looks like a 4 knights. But it's not. It's kind of close, though, to the normal setup. The king and queen are basically, like, reversed and then put on b1, respectively. So I feel like I'm playing the white side of a 4 knights. That's kind of cool. I guess I should have maybe thought about bringing my bishop out. But I was afraid if, like, bishop c4, c6 hitting me with d5 quickly. So I guess we'll just suffer with this bishop blocked in. We can turn it into a... Oh, he did it anyway. That's interesting, and I probably should have thought of that before I played my last move. The winnower. Let's say I played a3 here, and then he takes and grabs the space. Bishop's really going to be a problem there. I've lost my central bastion on e4, giving black kind of theoretical plus. Structurally, at least. He's going to have to take time to play f6. I could probably, quote-unquote, like, equalize with, like, d4. But then he can answer with e4. So I like the way he played this, very accurate. No choice now, basically. My bishop is a problem. My central situation is a problem. Wow, very well played by black. Central situation, so bishop g4. Maybe I have to play d4 now. d4, e4, d5, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. It's kind of weird. Good for black, probably. Why is he automatically better? Instantly. It's pretty messed up. Using no time. I don't even know what I did wrong. I mean, I literally didn't waste any tempi or anything. How can you just be worse with white? After not making any really significant mistake at all. That's kind of messed up. Brilliant play by black. And improved 4 knights. Where he's basically like he's white. Kind of like a tactical trick. Yeah, I guess I could castle kingside. Maybe not a bad idea. Got a little bit of lag going on. This creates a situation where we're most likely castling opposite sides, which is going to be necessarily dangerous for both sides, but we get the first jump on things here. Though he can pop back with e7, I suppose. You know, this may not actually be that effective. I'm a little concerned. It's like a Sicilian. It's not really Sicilian. It's like a Philidor. Where I'm black in a Philidor, kind of messed up Philidor. Yeah, I think this move doesn't do much, but I don't know what else to do. I wanted to beat him to the punch before he do something like bishop g4. Even bishop g4 is probably strong there. Man. Bishop g4. Now it doesn't work because of knight takes e5. Which is fortunate for me. Tried to go bishop g4 and just win control of the d4 square. Could have played this in a very simple way. But he's playing I don't know, very like compact style game here. Don't remember. You know, before when I played him, I thought he played kind of crazy. irrationally, but now he seems to be like ultra correct. Silman says if you have a bad bishop, you have to make him great again. Oh no. This is a book he's written like post 2016 or what? That's kind of disturbing, dude. That's the last Silman recommendation I ever give. I've always been kind of like, I don't know, kind regarding Silman. You can't make comments like that. That's horrible. I have heard, you know, the Lasker or whatever quote where basically the bishops or pieces that are blocked in, when they do get out, they come out very angry, and that sounds similar, but the reference is terrible. Okay, bishop f1. So now he castled kingside, just like me. I can play d4. Ooh, that might actually work. Maybe I'm not worse anymore after d4. For the first time in this game, I'm not worse, I think, unless he has some kind of knight f4. But he could have done that maybe earlier. Basically, I can equalize by playing this move. If I have a good square, which I thought I did. b2. But I guess I can go to d2. Maybe that's more central. Make your bishops good again? Give me a break, man. Make your bishops great again. Sorry. Just ridiculous, dude. Silman's like from California. Okay, knight to d5, queen d2, or queen b2. Where do we want to go? I'm afraid my queen on b2 could be kind of out of play. And there's some issues with the other side too. This really feels out of play. If bishop g4, knight d2, I guess I back off. That's one good reason. He didn't use the exact words. Okay. I hope not. That's kind of disturbing. Make your books great again. Knight takes d4. What was I thinking yesterday? Oh, I wanted to buy like a Putin calendar, put it on the wall. Be kind of funny. New swimsuit edition coming out. But anyway, I'm not here to be political. Just a coincidence. I just think I need a decoration for the wall while I'm streaming, you know, and I just thought like a Vladimir Putin calendar would be kind of funny. Alright, so what are we going to do? This is looking pretty equal. If I play rook d1, I drop my a4 pawn. We can chase his knight away with c4. Funny, Turkey Farm's talking about g3. I like that idea. I was just looking at something along those lines. Like rook d1, knight f4, g3 would give him time to play knight h3 check. So it turns out that g3 is a kind of interesting prophylactic move. It would weaken my king side, but let's try it. It keeps him off of f4, and I have the white square bishop, you know, to complement those pawns. So it's actually interesting. To a lot of people, this would be like a blatant weakening of my king side, but in reality, if you had the white squared bishop on the board, it's probably good. We can even transfer to bishop g2. I normally don't like implement or try to implement people's suggestions, but since I was thinking about that idea anyway, I get half credit for playing g3. HGG is kind of fishing here, but well, let's weaken the king side a little bit more just to keep him off of key squares, and probably it's not that significant. Get him off of this, basically. He's just hanging around, bothering me. Bishop G2. Now I can play C4, winning a piece. Almost winning a piece. But he has, let's see, knight F4. That's a rather important point. I mean, his main idea with Queen G5, something about the Queen's position is rather unnatural there. Now he reserves the right to play A5. This is kind of lame, but I'm running out of time. He's playing way better than his rating. He finished third in the tournament last night at 1800. 1700 here. He's played really well. Extremely solid. Know what to do here. Actually has Queen D2 now. I don't know. Thought I had something, but I'm slightly worse. This didn't do anything for me. I just have to try to equalize again with bishop takes D5 check. His knight's so strong, his queen in. No, I guess I have rook D1 there. Actually. Fortunately, wow. So that doesn't quite work. Luckily, I have rook D1. Yeah, I mean, these Queen G4, Queen G5, it's like very provocative. Most people are afraid. He's not afraid of me at all, even though he's like 300, 500 points lower. People are generally afraid of higher rated players. Not this guy. He's too experienced. Alright, Queen D4, centralizing the queen, stopping H4. Stopping Queen D2. Power of the centralized queen. Playing very aggressively with H5. I think that's kind of a risky move, but having played Queen G5, I mean, the position kind of demands that he continues to try to be active. This is definitely an awkward position, but it gives him some tactical chances. Now King F7. So now I have C4, but there's really no answer to knight takes B4, I guess. Maybe there is, actually. So C4 works here. Well, it's not that clear, actually. Yeah, it's clear. It is clear. I think this just wins a piece. No, he has 97. Okay. As usual, I'm being too optimistic. Of course he can play 97. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, man, come on. The King F7 is a really slightly deranged move. But here he didn't calculate. Oh, he's just dropping his rook. I didn't expect that. He was doing great. I mean, like the whole game. Till he played literally like H5 and King F7 going too far. I mean, I think he was better all the way until the last 3 moves. Something like that. Chess games are not easy. You know, even if you're 500 rating points higher, it seems like people play really well. Look, he's like better after D5. Every time I play Chess 960, like, no joke, I mean, I'm just outplayed in the opening by literally everyone. I can never ever get out of the opening with even an equal position for some reason. I don't really understand why that is, because in normal chess, my opening play is quite good. Midnight Rhino, thanks for subscribing to the stream. Turkey Farm, Clash Kid, Acerbate. Hey, why do you think that William is so bad at Chess 960 openings? The opening stage, he's horrible. Every single game, he's worse. I guess it's just my passive nature or something. Look at this. Instantly better for black after 5 moves. Like, because I made D3. I mean, one non-ultra aggressive move. Computer is saying b takes a here. And in order to play that, the problem is you got to get it in your head that you can castle kingside. And I just, you know what I mean? Like, I see this position and I'm thinking, oh, my king's on b1, you know? But b takes c is interesting. If I can castle kingside in 2 moves, maybe that's actually playable. So he's like slightly better with black, and he was fine like the whole game until I equalized at move 20, basically. And then he went on this fishing expedition. Let's see, h3, queen g5. You can't trust my chess engine here. It was a little bit of a fishing expedition there, but he was at least equal at most of this game. All right, let's play some subscriber challenges here. Juicebox, Testosterone. You guys who are not subscribers can hang out and hopefully still get a game or two. So Clash Kid thinks it's a site-wide phenomena. People are super aggressive here. Juicebox playing e3. I love the hypermodern approach. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons I've always really subscribed to playing, you know, necessarily hypermodern style openings. And I found that approach, the rope-a-dope approach, if you want to call it that, pays a lot of dividends, particularly against lower-rated players. Handle playing with the space advantage very badly. So oftentimes the easiest way for me to win against lower-rated players was to let people overextend themselves. Therefore, you know, I play openings that aren't necessarily like overtly aggressive. Knight f3, g3, g6 with black, knight f6, Alyakin's defense. I mean, these are not classical openings. You find the player base was way stronger as a whole? You've got to... I mean, I don't think you can even compare chess sites because their rating systems are all different. I don't think you compare like one site with another. Who knows what their formulas are exactly. Juicebox here playing Mamajarov-esque. c4 now. We have e3 poison or whatever. Axel Smith. It's funny to see Juicebox with that Cambodia flag. Now he takes on c5. This is not typically what we would see here. But it's a reasonable approach. You're basically playing a Catalan or Reti with colors reversed. But I think you have to watch my bishop on a long diagonal in the long run. What's going to happen with that? Am I supposed to regain this pawn with like queen a5 check? I guess. If I don't regain it, I wonder if he can try to hang on to it. Although, yeah, I'm not a big fan of bringing my queen out if I can help it. Caruana, right? His game the other day. Knight c3 might be a good move. Although it's more standard to play something like c3. The problem is if I play knight e4, he has bishop d2, which is quite reasonable for white, in fact. Knight e4, bishop d2, he actually has queen d4 probably. So this is an artificial way of regaining my pawn to some degree. His knight is stuck on c3, which is blocking his c pawn from influencing the center. So that might ultimately be good for me. Yeah, more typical not to play knight c3 though. I mean, you would see like bishop d2 followed by bishop c3 with a Fort Knox type of French thing, or c3 followed by b4, bishop b2, and then a fianchetto and eventual c4. Or knight d2 followed by, you know, also likely like a fianchetto. I think the key question is how this diagonal is going to be resolved. How white is going to seek, you know, to neutralize or get counterplay. Here he went queen d4, but I guess it's kind of a weird move. In a straight up vacuum, I mean, he's trading or trying to trade an undeveloped piece for a powerfully developed piece, so that makes sense. I guess it's okay. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with queen d4. Most people with white wouldn't want to trade queens necessarily, but he's restricted here with that knight on c3. I mean, Smyslov did a similar thing, probably, with black in the Catalan with queen d5 in a famous game. If you play it like you're basically let's say, I want to say, if you play it like you're black, queen d4 is almost like a good defensive move. The panda's here, and he's willing to talk to you guys. Hey, I was thinking of becoming a cam panda. I could make some extra money on the side. No, I'm just kidding. What about h4? Not here, huh? Guys, tomorrow night is our subscriber stream, just so you know. So on Thursday night, those of you who do subscribe can submit games, and we analyze it here. 10-15 minutes game analysis of each game. That's at 6:30 on Thursday night, Central European time. Okay? Just don't forget to tune in. Bye-bye. So, Panda, thank you again for another announcement. Bishop d2. Now what? I love this bishop here. Put bishops on the long diagonals and take things. Optimal bishop. If knight b5, we can always meet that with knight a6, although I kind of have second thoughts about that now. This is a serious move for him. I mean, he'd be threatening queen takes queen, followed by knight b5. I could try to wreck his pawn structure here, but it's probably not a big deal. Knight c6, maybe. Blocking my own bishop on b7 seems strange, though. Am I going to get in trouble here? And this knight b5 thing really, really bothers me. You could play queen takes queen, but I think you improve his position if you play queen takes queen. Maybe at this point I should just play bishop g7. I'm still concerned about knight to b5, though. I have to play this ultra awkward knight a6, which basically isn't really where I want to be. He found it. He found it. So the only other alternative to knight a6 seems to be queen c8, sidestepping the fork by avoiding the queen trade. I mean, the first thing you have to realize, the knight on c3 is his misplaced piece, so this makes sense on a couple of levels. He's not only threatening forks, but he's trying to correct his strategic problem, which is the knight blocking his c-pawn, and even possibly like counteracting that bishop on g7. So the move, as I said, makes sense in a couple different ways. So we've got knight a6, this awkward defense, when he has stuff like a4, and I feel like I'm playing Yevgeny Sveshnikov again. Or this move, which is time-consuming. But I don't know. I don't like the other option very much. We try to turn him out, basically. Make this queen into a target. And not to let him sit here comfortably forever. I'm threatening a6 now. If he has another way to attack c7, that could be a problem. But I didn't see anything out of hand that looked terribly strong. No. This looks like he's attacking prematurely. There's no concrete threat. G2's hanging, but it's not my first priority. I mean, I have lots of good moves. This looks like a strange thing to do. Actually, a self-pin, essentially. I have lots of good moves. I mean, just castling looks like the safest. I am getting a little bit low on time. I might have had something there, but taking on G2 is a kind of risky thing. You could probably do it. I think his coordination is getting kind of messed up. You know, these knights are both attackable, and his whole position is going to collapse. Collapsible planets. We could have also taken and played king d8, right? Well, yeah, but I mean, I never really want to take because I think it improves his position. Okay, it's a minor thing, but if you take and he takes with a pawn, he opens up his bishop. I mean, again, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a minor kind of thing. Let's see, after knight b5, you could trade queen takes d4, ed, and play king d8. I mean, maybe you could even get away with, like, queen takes queen, pawn takes, bishop takes f3, pawn takes f3, king d8, and try to play and argue that you got an advantage based on structure. But his bishops become kind of strong there, I think. They're becoming open, and we'll see after the game if you want to take a brief look at the analysis engine. But it looks like he's semi screwed here. Scrooged. The knight e4, queen c4. Maybe I should play a6 first, then b6 will be hanging. I'm using a lot of time. I don't see a concrete win, although maybe I do have one. But at the end of the day, that stupid knight c7 fork will be hanging all the time. This is a good position for me, but I don't know what move to play. I mean, a6 weakens my b6 pawn. I guess a6, and then knight c3, knight d5. Then he could take on d5. Totally missed it. So I can't play that now. I missed probably lots of good moves, but I looked at knight e4, queen c4. Didn't see anything really great there. I maybe missed like 10 more accurate moves so far. This is like, what, my second game today? But Juicebox, you need to treat the queen differently. I think you're playing with the queen, you know, out there, losing tempi, being a target. It's actually not clearly trappable, but it seems like a kind of strange place to put the queen there. He's gotten away with it, though. He's gotten away with it. He's got a c4 break. It's almost like some kind of demented Sveshnikov. Like, this is almost working for him. And then trying to play against c4 with this move. I got no time left. I wasted all my time. I want to say used, but I feel like wasted is the better adjective. Sorry, adverb. Verb. It's a verb. All right, I'm not studying grammar since 20 years ago. Okay, rook b8. Yes, he goes for it. Now we have the b4. I guess that was my plan. But it's double-edged. This strengthens his control of the center to some degree. But I thought b4 would at least cross him. That's why I played rook b8. Now he has, let's see, queen a4. Cagey play. Wow. Just a3, huh? Alright, he's just playing super fast here. He's gotten away with murder in this game. Literally. I'm curious how much he's calculating and how much he's actually just playing on instinct. I've probably missed lots and lots of strong moves, but the time started to have an effect now. YM just subscribed using Twitch Prime. Thank you. Wow, totally new subscriber. Thank you, Ivy. Oh man, come on, this time thing. What are you thinking about here, Juicebox? You got to play queen takes a3. It's literally the only move. This is not a move where you need to think, okay? Maybe his Cambodian internet went out. I don't know, but My a6 pawn is hanging. His queen is relatively stable there. I have no knight b4 or anything like that. Maybe I can play queen b7. And wouldn't mind, like, let's say, trading b pawn for a pawn, and I end up with a better structure. I'm hoping for castles knight e5 here, but it's basically just like a cheapo. Okay, he stopped calculating, I think. Take your time. He just gave me stuff in a long diagonal too. His dark squares are pretty bad, but he's not losing by force. No time to annotate the game, commentate, shall I say. I still couldn't even win any material. Wow. Is my rook gonna get trapped? Please don't trap my rook. I guess I should have taken on g2 this time for real. I'm kind of pressurized on the clock. I should have just played bishop takes g2 and then bishop b7 and been a pawn up. 2 pawns up, excuse me. I forgot the g2 pawn was there. This is my second chance to take it. Basically trying to trap my own rook here. c5 or something weird, but I don't think he can really trap it yet. Yesterday I had some weird lag that just came and flared up at times. That could easily just take me out with something like 10 seconds. Although yesterday's tournament, our viewer tournament, was played with a 2-second increment, which is not as solid an amount of time to have, as 3 seconds makes a big difference. Right, I don't like my rook, you know, hanging out on b4, basically. Yeah, Juicebox did a good job. I mean, he's 0 for 29 against me, but this is definitely one of his toughest games. Although we haven't played in a long time. Maybe one game recently, but not many. Now I've got a grip on the position completely. Now he's not going to get loose here. He's down a pawn, but it's worse than that. The structural advantage, the bishop pair. But it took a lot to get here. I was like missing millions of moves. I have knight b3. So he has to play bishop c2 now, which is really pretty awkward. He sacked an exchange. That's unnecessary. Probably I should take with a rook there. This is like structurally inferior. Thank you for the subscription. Thanks to all you guys for making it possible to do the stream. There, I should just trade pieces. I just hate giving up my long square. My bishops, these are my babies. Ponies. This wins a piece. No. If I said it wins a piece, it probably doesn't. That seems to be how it works. He has knight a b1, of course. Just defending everything. Duh. Anyway, he thinks he lost a piece. No. Weird game. I just want to see one moment when he played queen d4 and a couple moves after that. You know, I think queen d4 is actually a good move, Juicebox. It was literally played in a game. Luis Gallego, who I know, he's a Portuguese GM. Pioneer of the Portuguese gambit, one of them. Knight f6 Scandinavian guys. So that's funny. This was actually reached. Let's see what black played against Gallego. Queen takes d4. My move is best. It looks like b6. Queen takes d4 is like impatient, you know. Here knight a6 apparently. Bishop takes a6. That's a kind of creative move. I played like that before. Tough game. Tuesdays are tournament games. Tournament days. I host a stream on Tuesdays where Testosterone's up next. Testosterone ridiculously low rated there, 1755. Can play very tough. Good opening play usually. Alright. Weird openings. I think I forgot to play weird openings so far. Alright, let's play something different here. Orangutan, or Polish opening. What happened last game? I played a normal opening. You probably said something and I didn't even notice in the chat. Usually I do this every week when I start the Wednesday stream. Okay, we had the chess 960, which threw me off. So I've got lots of reasons why I can't remember that we're supposed to play unusual openings today. So okay, b4, whatever. He's just playing like d6, maybe King's Indian attack. Testosterone, do you do that with white as well? Do you play like King's Indian attack base stuff? Ever? No, I'm thinking of Zen chess. But I mean, d6 is just e5, d6 type of setups, probably. Really, there's no other good line here. I mean, I guess if I were to play knight f3, you could play bishop g4. Knight f6. Phil Turzo, what's up? Yo regout, Kivanok. We can speak some Hungarian with Turzo. My pronunciation, even after living here, I still pronounce things lazily sometimes, especially names. Alright. Still laid the bishop b2. You like the King's Indian attack to avoid normal French defense game? I'm supposed to be playing unusual openings. That's the theme of the stream today, but I did forget last game. We just played like a normal thing. Except Juicebox played e3. I mean, we could make an argument that, okay, he played e3 on move 1, therefore it's an unusual opening to begin with. I don't have to do anything. I'll have my lawyers draft up a resolution. Knight on bd7. This is a little bit early to commit to that. I mean, it seems like a passive square for the knight, though typically used in the King's Indian attack. It's not a bad move. I just wouldn't commit it so early. If I were him, though objectively, it's probably not going to c6 where it gets hit by b5. Okay, whatever. Here we go, onward and upward. I mean, I'm just thinking like my bishop is sort of dead on that diagonal if he plays e5 anyway. So I'm wondering if I had better ways to play. You know, we can even play like a pure French against the King's Indian attack where, okay, this move I don't like because you're playing on my side of the board. That's my side of the board, okay? I'm going to play b5. Stop playing on my side of the board. I mean, is a4 even necessary? I mean, it's not like a5 is some sort of terrible blunder, but I don't think it benefits black in any way. And maybe he gets me to commit my pawns a little bit. Now we're going to have to think about the long diagonal. I was really thinking about a4, bishop a3, trying to do like a fianchetto, sorry, an extended fianchetto. Now there's tension in the center. And the b5 would make sense. You know, getting me to play b5 would make sense if he can lock this down as a sort of outpost for his pieces. So therefore, I think I'd rather take back with a pawn. But it turns out that his setup is perfectly valid. I mean, the a5 isn't really hurting him here. Although, in the long run, it could be a weakness. I'm American. I play for the U.S. Federation. You can't call me a Hungarian, even though I've been a resident here for 14 years. It's just not, it's not fair. I'm not a real Hungarian. All right. Torzo. I mean, I'll take challenges from everybody, even if they're strong. A lot of people think I'm ducking strong players because I constantly play with like lower rated class players and stuff, but I basically play whoever wants to play. Unless they're like suspicious. You know, I do avoid the people who are like looking kind of suspicious. E4 92. I don't want to get beaten down by somebody's computer. If I know who the strong player is though, then I'm perfectly fine playing them. If I know they're real. Random people, you know, not as inclined to play. Random 2700s. Probably not so much. I mean, I played like Tota Andrash, for example. Spinal Tap Chess. Some other strong players here that we played time to time. Not a lot of games against other players my level, but there are some. I prefer to know who I'm playing against rather than some random mystery account who's high rated. Okay, you know, I've gone on record as saying, you know, I don't like this square for the pieces, the b6. Fisher made a similar comment once that the b3, b6, g3, g6 are bad squares. The knight is not that well placed typically. But obviously there are certain situations where you're going to want to do this. Not sure what his plan is, see? I mean, you've done like a5, knight b6, but what is that about exactly? Okay, this move just reinforces his center. I can put more pressure on that. There's the possibility of putting my knight on c3 and playing g4, but it's risky. The c5 isn't going to happen, is it? But now bishop a3 could happen. But even there, he has like knight d5, knight b4 swinging back to the center. This idea of g4 very common in French King's Indian attack type positions. But here I'm not sure, you know, how drastically it would weaken my king side, let's say. g4, knight takes g4. Maybe knight takes e4. Is it too dangerous for me to do that? You know, I'm really not that well developed here. Testosterone plays super well for his rating. c5 he can answer. Let's see. c5 takes bishop a3. It's kind of cool looking. But as I said, he can play knight d5 now. I feel like I may be opening the position too early here. But I'm getting in pressure on the clock, getting under pressure on the clock, so I don't know, this was kind of an impulsive decision. My impulsive decisions are not normally good. But Anonymous, we're talking about bishop b3, not knight b3. I'm talking about knights, not bishops. Bishops are good on b3. The Roy Lopez, you know, the Sicilian. We're talking about knights, dude. It's a different animal. Knights are not usually good on these squares. Prone to attack by the rook pawns, among other things. Faux Hungarian. Okay, bishop a3. Yesterday we had a funny result in our viewer tournament. It was all three prizes, pseudo prizes. Top 3 slots won by Hungarian residents. In our viewer tournament last night, every Tuesday we play. Yesterday was a rapid. Damn, dude, he's relentless. Almost like a King's Indian. Well, it is, basically. Now I have knight d4 maybe. Even if this amounts to a pawn sack, I think it's like strategically sound probably. Queen e5. Wow. Wow, dude. Where did that even come from? How strong is this guy? I don't know how he's 1755. I mean, he's seriously better than that. 1600 in blitz testosterone. Particularly in the openings, he plays like a master. This has been a very stressful opening for me. Haven't used a lot of time. Kind of precarious. But I guess I can kick him out with bishop e2 next. Knight takes c5, knight takes c5 drops that. So I probably have to play like knight on a takes. It amounts to sacrificing a pawn in a lot of lines. I mean, this is thematic break. But he's got good control of the center. You know, you can see he's got e4. He's got d5. He's got e5, e4, and d5. So he's dominating like 3/4 of the center, basically. Maybe my king is a little safer than his king. I'm 1 move away from castling versus 2. And his pieces, you know, the bishop on f5 is kind of inactive. But it's a stressful game. I don't know. Very aggressive play by black. Now I can unpin, which I think I want to do here. Now we finally get control of the long diagonal. It's giving up a vital piece. The bishop takes b3. My bishops are quite strong. Some space advantage on the queen side now. We've hijacked the long diagonal. Our bishop can come out here very powerfully later on. But it's still not over. I don't see any forced win for me. He doesn't want to give up that white square bishop really though. The entire plan of bishop e6, bishop takes b3 seems, you know, in a way he's trading off a bad bishop that's blocked, but in a way he's also trading a developed piece, you know, wasting 2 tempi. And he's trying to free up knight e5, it looks like. We still have g4. g4, queen e6. g4 wins. g4 pawn. I'm surprisingly good tactically when I have to be, but this is something sometimes people underestimate me because I pretend to be like a strategic player. My real strength is tactics. h4, uh-oh. No, it's over now. He doesn't have anywhere to go. He's just losing everything. That's pretty bad. Queen. Popular spot for queens against me today on g5. He did great in the opening, but then he fell apart, which is the problem. Testosterone's opening is excellent, but he loses the thread at some point. He actually had more time, and I thought an interesting position. Something just went haywire. I feel like it started with bishop e6. You know, there was a reason to undevelop that bishop on f5, even though it's blocked to some degree there. That can't be the right plan. So let's see, like after move 14, I thought black was fine. The computer says I'm clearly better. Wow. Knight a4 exclamation point, and it says bishop e6 is his best move. So much for my understanding of the position. Wow. So this is really good for me. I wasn't at all confident here. So it looks like the best you can do is take on c5 and go on with life. The computer says his move is the best move, the exact opposite of what I just said. Bishop e6 is the best move. So he just shouldn't take on b3. Now you can go queen 5, and now you've got a live threat, castles, bishop h3 type of stuff. This thing is looking both ways. It's a very strong piece. It's much better on e6 than it was on f5 offensively. But I'm surprised how big my advantage is, according to the computer. I don't know what you really did wrong. I mean, it looked pretty reasonable to me. c5. D takes c5, bishop a3. I mean, we could go back to move 8 if we really want to dig down in the opening. This is costly in terms of time to play knight b6. Okay, let's move on. So subscribers, what do we have? Clash Kid and Baleful. Taking subscribers first. Please donate for my therapeutic massage. I've still got the neck ache. I'm just here to complain like an old man. Clash Kid generously donated 500 bits yesterday, Dim 100. If you guys can support the stream with bit donations or a donation via PayPal, I much appreciate it. All right, no mainline openings here. Let's play e5, because I don't normally play e5, and then we'll play something, you know, within that that's a little bit off the beaten track. So what are we gonna do? We play our Petrov, a weird Petrov. After DE5, I had knight e4. DE5. I lost you there. I didn't want to play e4 or knight b6 at all, but I was afraid of DE5, bishop a3. So I got a chance to play this thing, the Afro Maev, which we played before. There was a recent game, like last year or this year, with Morozevich having white against Timofeyev, I think. Somebody pretty good toted this out against Moro and lost. The Russian guy Afromeyev played it a lot. It's kind of better than the, what's it called? This is traditionally like a unsound sideline in the Petrov, knight takes e4. This move seems to be a clearly better version. Possible that sneezing constantly. Yeah, it may be all connected to my allergy problem. So the Morozevich game was d4. That's the other kind of key variation here. d4, knight c6. Then I can't remember how it went. I think Moro must have played knight back to f3. In that position, knight f3 immediately. Now knight takes e4, bishop e2, g6. It's funny, another thing about these positions, and maybe the way the Afromeyev discovered this line, but, well, for fun, 20 years ago or 15 years ago, I used to run engines against each other, and the funnest, or the most fun games where I used to run the computers against each other were the games where you turn their opening book off, because they would play really creative stuff. And the one thing that they had a tendency to do was to try to play this Petrov instinctively. If you turned off Fritz 6 or whatever engine I had at the time, 15 years ago, you turned off their engine, they would always play the Petrov with black, and they would always do this type of stuff where they would play queen e7. So it's possible that Afromeyev borrowed this from computer without book. What would it do, you know? Knight f3, knight takes e4, bishop e2, g6, castles, bishop g7, rook e1, castles. That kind of thing would be like a typical computer variation. Queen takes e4 check, for example, bishop e2, g6, castles, bishop g7, rook e1, castles. Looks like another pretty much along the same lines, except there he's playing knight c3, which I don't really want to let that happen. So I'm going to take with a knight here. I don't think taking with the queen and getting hit by knight c3 is necessarily a good thing. Holding my hand behind my head during sneezes to stop the head jerk. You know, Anonymous, you may be right, because I had severe allergies, and that could have maybe caused my problem to begin with. The other option would be to try to castle queenside, which is really pretty unsound. So let's see. Let's go with the old school computer approach here. White would always get like a lasting slight advantage in these engine battles. Rook e1, castle, bishop d3, d5, like knight c3, f5. He's not even going for that. He's just going to play more naturally with like d4. Okay. So how bad is black's position here? The one good thing is that our king side is fairly safe. You know, it's really solid with the fianchetto, which is something you don't normally get in the Petrov. Now this move is just harmless. Essentially, looks like a very, very harmless move. I could exchange on d2, but I guess I can play more ambitiously here with d5. Taking on d5 should give me the upper hand, so I'm not sure what he's doing. Maybe rook e1 now. In any case, he got me to play d5, which maybe, you know, might be more aggressive than like d6 or something. Rook e1 seems to be logical. Then what? What do I do? Frank Marshall did play the Petrov. f5. Marshall liked to play f5. Very aggressive attacking player. Not sure it's appropriate here. I'm kind of weakening my king side a lot. But structurally, it would give up the e5 square. I mean, that's something that typically happens in the Stonewall Dutch and other openings where you lose control of e5. Once again, I'm talking a lot and not really moving very fast, but I like to really think about what we're doing. Bishop f5, let's say. I'm a little bit worried about c4 undermining my center. I mean, that's extremely thematic. But I guess just knight to c6 makes sense. Then he'll play c3. And my knight is kind of misplaced. This is kind of, saying kind of too much, but anyway, it's my favorite phrase. This is a bit of a problem in the Queen's Indian, and I never really thought about it concretely in this way, but it does seem to be a bit of a problem piece in the Petrov in general for black. What can I do here? Bishop f5, but I'm still just stalling on the whole question of queenside development. You might even want to just play queen d8. You know, how am I going to benefit from this queen deployment? I mean, at the end of the day, it might just make my position worse. I'm just using too much time, guys. c5 is like a psycho aggro move. There was this like Russian poker player. Psycho aggro more. I like that. He was tough. Rook e1, c5. c5 is... Yeah, c5 is a little over the top, but let's do it, man. Let's do something crazy. I got 2 minutes to his 5. If he takes on c5, I got pressure on f2. That's the main point. If he does c3, I'm trying to take the initiative here. Get my knight behind the c-pawn. And that solves my problems. I don't have that stupid knight like blocking my c-pawn like in a queen's pawn position. I'm asking a lot here for my position, really, but I mean, this is an extremely aggressive move. We could get the advantage if white plays passively, but I haven't seen a really good continuation for him, to be honest. Wow. c4. That is crazy. Nice move. Alright, I'm just going to play on instinct here. I hope I don't lose a piece. Frank better be watching, because we're going to have to play f5 more than likely. Actually, I think I might be in big trouble here. I'm a little bit worried about this. There's a messed up variation, which I can't reveal. I can't reveal my secrets. I really need like one more move for this to work. I think I have to take on d2. It's so perverse. I'm getting owned here. Wait. Yeah, this looks bad. This looks really bad. Shoot. Literally has that. I have to take here. I mean, this is just a blunder. My position is a blunder. He had a sick move, you know. Bishop takes d5, bishop c4. Bishop takes c4, rook takes e4, winning a piece. And there's no way for me to defend. Bishop e6, d5. There's no other way to protect. You know, I mean, this is the only way I can avoid losing a piece here. But maybe this isn't that bad. Maybe it's really not that bad. Takes, check, queen takes, queen b3 is worrisome. Takes queen b3 is just too strong, I guess. It's horrible. Clash Kid needs to take his time and calm down. He's going to blow his advantage out here. His development is kind of lagging in the sense that these pieces aren't out. Yeah, dude, the bishop c4 just ruined my day. I mean, I don't know if he saw it or not, but you can't gamble that the other guy's not going to see something. I mean, this is a very practical advice. A lot of people, especially in time pressure, will tend to gamble that the opponent isn't going to see something. You can try to do that if it's a very, very difficult move to see, but I mean, bishop c4, it's kind of thematic. It undermines my whole like establishment in the center, and I think he would have found it. So I had a choice between gambling that he wouldn't see something and just having a lost position, or just accepting the worst position where I'm maybe not completely lost. Obviously, bishop d5 is the correct move here. Right about now with white, I'd be like, maybe I should trade queens. We're only down a pawn. You know, maybe we're okay. Let's see. But he comes up here with 2 minutes. Yeah, bishop d5, exclaim. That's a nice one. Bishop d5, no. He found the best move. Bishop d5 is made in 2. Oh. I guess I'm going to sack my queen. Unfortunately, it's not enough. White's winning here. Not an easy win, but a technical win, most likely. Kind of like my game with Tushar yesterday. Basically paralyzed. I guess I can play bishop e5. Or I'm lost. I guess bishop d4 was a better move. Yeah, bishop d4 was losing a piece. It's much better. No, just kidding. Just kidding about bishop d4. The eternal pin. Come on, Clash Kid. You know you want to draw. Typical swindle. Starting to get pretty technical now. There may still be hope with the time pressure. I probably can't avoid a draw by repetition here. Well, that was a lucky result for me. I mean, to have a draw here with the queen versus rook and bishop, I can't even imagine trying to play for a win now. I'm lucky that I saved it. No. The final position is legitimately a draw. I don't think I can try to walk away. You know, I mean, he's just going to check me anywhere I go. My king's too open. The biggest thing was finding the blockade set up with bishop on a7, because if I tried to put my bishop on g1, he would have had like queen takes f7 check, and then like a6 and resigns. All right, Clash Kid, good game. This game I must win. Yeah, that's what happened with Tushar in the tournament yesterday. Basically the same kind of thing. I managed to save it from a lost position. I'm good at that. Probably my number one skill. Saving bad positions. Okay, risky opening for black. Baleful is up next, guys. Thank you for playing and watching today. I'm trying to play different stuff. Okay, against the English now. What happens with Baleful? Did we have any? Well, let's try something kind of critical and try to find something cool here. Asterby, what's up? No challenge today? I insta win. If you played that there. You mean bishop d5 was made in 2? Yeah, that's not a question. The problem is playing an unusual setup here against the English isn't so easy. I've played bishop b4. That's practically like a main line. I mean, so to play something tricky against the English. I don't know what Baleful does on the next move. Knight f6. Knight f6, let's say. Maybe he'll play knight f3. Gotta try to find something unusual. I want to play the gambit line with b5, which is fun. Alright, that's cool, Asterbait. It's late for you, but now I can't do anything, man. Come on. I mean, I wanted to play knight f3, b5, knight f3, e4, this old gambit line, knight f3, e4, knight b5, b5. Baleful won't let me. We got to come up with something creative here. Man. Come on, dude. Don't let me have any fun with that move. d3, just killing the fun completely. What am I supposed to do now? We can't sack a pawn here with b5. It's just ridiculous. Like knight takes b5. Fun killer. I guess we can try to play a Smith-Morrow reversed. I don't know what to do, man. I have no other ideas. This is probably a bad Smith-Morrow. Not only a tempo down, but a kind of inaccurate position to try to do it in. Alright. Please support the stream, guys. We had a new subscription today. Thank you for that. Normally I would play knight takes d5, but I thought, okay, we'll try to play a Mora with the tempo less. I mean, it's always good if the opponent's willing to lose the initiative. Basically, Baleful's got my preferred setup with an extra move against the Smith-Morrow. Knight f3 here. Can I play e4? No, because I don't have bishop on c5. That's the key. I mean, being down a tempo in the Smith-Morrow is pretty significant. Clash Kid, thank you for that. The 500 donation, man. Exciting game. That was fun. I'm happy that I survived. I've been doing a lot of that in the last 2 days. But it was at least exciting for the players and the viewers. I don't know how correct our game was, but I'm happy that I averted the danger really with bishop takes d5, and I give you kudos for playing c4, man. That was such a great move. Creating extra tension in the center there, brilliant, man. Very nice job, and thank you for the donation, 500. But seriously, Clash Kid deserves extra credit for playing c4 when I played c5. That was a standout move that gave him the initiative there, and it set him up for this killer tactic, which I just barely saw in time. The basic idea was c takes d5, bishop takes d5, and then like bishop c4, bishop takes c4, rook takes e4, and he just wins. Okay, now the Fianchetto setup against the Mora is not really typically considered ideal. But I guess it's not so bad for white. I mean, if queen b6, he has e3, and although he weakens his center to some degree, it's not that bad for white. Queen b6, e3. But I've got to do something. Am I just forcing him to make a good move, or is e3 like seriously weakening his position? Knight g4. He has e3, but knight g4 he has knight h3. That's the difference. Knight h3 is pretty sound actually. So not really sure what I'm doing here. Maybe we can try to set it up with like bishop f5. Some bishop f5. Alright, whatever. We gotta make a move. I'm not used to playing the Mora, guys. Maybe Asterbait. You never tried the Mora, did you, Asterbait? You played bishop c4. The Mora would suit you though. You know, you like the Halloween gambit. Okay, I hate the Mora, and I hate the c3 Sicilian. I hate a lot of things that I have to face all the time. But objectively, the Mora is sound. I mean, it's just barely sound, but it's okay. It's like the London system. I hate things because they work, you know. Baleful unfortunately overlooked bishop takes f2 check, which gives me an advantage, I would assume. Overlooked the trappy trap. The trappy trap with bishop takes f2 check, and now what are you going to do, you know? I wonder if it's even considerable to play king f1 here. He did. Yeah. Is that the lesser of the evils? The evils. Got our pawn back, and we wrecked his king position. You can't argue with that. Should castles be a part of the plan, though? Bishop takes c6 has got to give you a decent Smith corner. Ain't nobody playing bishop takes c6. I hope. I mean, that bishop is really important for white. Maybe in some circumstance you could do that, but not part of the normal strategy here. Huh. Knight takes d5, bishop takes d8, knight e3 check. You could sack our queen. Oh my gosh. Another queen sack. Or there's just like knight takes d5, bishop takes d8, knight e3 check. King e1. Knight takes g2 check is interesting. But there's like knight takes d1. But unfortunately, has bishop takes b6 there. At the end of the day, we have some weird endgame with 6 pawns against 6 pawns. I'm not sure white is even worse there. Feels like I should have something here, though. Oh my goodness. No, it doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to sack my queen. I think this is the only dynamic play. Maybe not take his queen, but we play with 3 pieces for the queen. I think this is the best, objectively. Second queen sack in a row. If we don't take his queen, we take his bishop with check and play this middle game with 3 pieces for the queen. But very good control of the board. If I take on d1, he has bishop takes b6, which looks kind of messed up to me. Bishop takes b6, a b6, king takes d1. With the seemingly equal endgame. I don't want equal, you know. But let's not forget to grab this. Probably somewhat important. Now I might have a direct win. I didn't even realize it, but we've got a lot of pieces hovering around his king here. Well, there's no bishop a5 check, but there is bishop e3 check. Well, I think it's going to be very hard to get him on b1. I mean, how am I going to get his king on b1? Much easier said than done. I think I just have to recapture. Bishop a5 first. I know, it's very tempting to play that. But this is like a massive initiative. We have 3 pieces for the queen straight up, but a very, very big advantage in terms of king safety. And man, this is like wicked. The wicket master. Bishop e4. Triple exclaim. Bishop e4, knight f3, unfortunately. Alright, where's my mate? Now he doesn't have c2 any longer. Bishop a5 check. Damn, dude, he has to be getting mated now. This has to be mate. Bishop a5 check, followed by king c1. And something along those lines looks like brutal. Oh no. Oh no, I blundered. Oh my god. Blunder. Blunderific. It was such a stupid move. It's not even funny. Okay, a blunder move. I just hung a tempo. I need to maintain the knight on e3. I forgot it needed to be protected. So I could have tweaked the move order somehow, maybe. Like knight d4 first. I was a little nervous about dropping my b7 pawn, but objectively that may not have mattered. I mean, I'm not sure this does a whole lot. You know, queen takes there. I could still play rook c8 check in one moment. But anyway, he's really messed up here. He literally can't move his pieces. Only his queen. 3, just like, wow. It's got to be over. Okay, let's just castle. I have knight d4 and knight b3 check, but I thought let's just mobilize all the forces. He's got no ability to move anything, you know, and a3 just weakened his position. So it's quality, not quantity. We have enough quantity, actually. I mean, 3 pieces is 9 points of material. You could say I had 10, according to the American Chess Player's Handbook of the 1930s or 40s or whenever that came out. Staunton. According to Staunton, bishops are worth 3.5 points of material. In that case, I have 10 points. Poor Paschall is just like donated everything. 4 minor pieces now. Total paralysis. That's brutal. So, all right. Sacking the queen. Okay, he set me up for it with knight d5. I mean, this is just a bad move probably. But I don't have anything better than I did. What I did is best, except let's see how I followed this up. Best. There was bishop takes d8. That's a weird move. Now when I played this stupid move, I had e4, which just crushes and smashes and mauls white. For some reason it wasn't on my radar. I played this stupid move. He has king takes e3. What? Oh my god. I'm sure you guys mentioned this in the chat. I just totally spaced. After that he's equal, apparently. Oh my god, that's so sick. Lost my focus. Okay, we're going to play Morales. Blunderific. I totally forgot about king takes e3. It was a bad move for losing a tempo in the first place. I don't know if Paschall saw king e3 and was just afraid to play it, or he, you know, just didn't see it as well. But that's embarrassing. Chess Ponda's here. Ponda was laughing. He saw a whole piece, he didn't take it. Unbelievable. What is this guy smoking? Chess Ponda. Guys, we have a subscriber stream tomorrow night, so please tune in with us 6:30 p.m. on Thursday night. The French. Let me guess, the French. I've been trying to play, oh, you want me to play h4? I mean, okay, the Ponda opening. The Kadaj Gabor. Everybody makes blunders. So the Scando. What can we do against the Scandinavian that's out of the normal realm? My crazy teammate Pro Rock Martin plays like knight f3. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But let's try it. Can open the window now. This is definitely not a sound variation. Thought I'd sack a pawn here. Try to play it like a demented gambit. So where's Scobell? He would like this. Plays all kinds of crazy gambit stuff. This is totally unsound, of course. But anyway, it's fun. And we're here for fun, right? Let's see. Bishop c4 followed by d3. Can I do that? The Budapest reverse, but it's not. See, that's the problem with this opening. Budapest reverse would be great, but it's almost impossible to get a Budapest reverse. I was thinking about this, to try to set it up by playing some weird move on move one. If you could play like maybe A3, or you could play it on move two. You could do something like knight f3, d5, A3, c5, and then do e4, or A3 or A4 on move two. It's very hard to play a Budapest reversed, actually. It's not a Budapest because you haven't played c5, and that weakens your position to a great degree. That's really where the Budapest Gambit gets its playability, from the fact that white has played both d4 and c4. If you don't have played, if you haven't played both those pawn moves, your position isn't nearly as squishy, justifying this kind of pawn sacrifice. So we're not really playing the Budapest. Squishy pawn moves. Knight c3, bishop e4, queen e2. This is not sound by any means. Guess I almost have to do like queen e2. I guess we could just castle, but then he's going to play h6 at one moment and force me to take on e4 and trade queens. I don't really want to see that happen. Guess I have to do this. Then he has knight c6 though. Okay, whatever. I mean, we got to do something. It's not sound. This is one of the more dubious things you'll see me play. Morales has been playing well. Actually, his rating's going up now. He's 2070. I think that's the highest I've seen. He doesn't have a lot of games. And we could waste the tempo here with like queen f3, but that seems silly. I don't want to trade pieces, so it's got to be pawn takes pawn. This is just totally dubious. Totally dubious. Intentionally dubious. Black playing this perfectly. I must have had a better way to do this, though, objectively. Clash Kid, thank you for the donation of 500 bits again today. It was an interesting battle. This, however, knight c6, nice move. Very compact, taking advantage of, as I said, the pawns. He hasn't weakened his structure. Focusing on the key square in the center here. This is the way that black should play it. Okay, well, I just have to accept that he has d4, and my position is basically unsound. Try to come up with something. Castles, knight d4, queen back to d1, I guess. So nothing for white here. Knight c3. I mean, he's just going to kick me back with knight d4 at some point. He doesn't have to. I mean, maybe the threat is stronger than the execution with a move like knight to d4. In reality, I'm just down a pawn with no compensation at all. Remind me not to do this again. I mean, if there's a way to do this, I thought it would be more interesting, but we've got 0. I mean, maybe we can try to create some sort of complications, but I have no clue how to do that. I couldn't play this any better myself for black. I can only hope that he'll like take my e3 bishop and correct my pawn structure somehow. Hoping for maybe like knight g4 and move my knight back and allow knight takes e3. But don't do as I'm doing in this game. This is absolutely bad for white. Right. This is our only hope. He takes on e3 or something. Please take on e3. Bringing that pawn to the center and controlling the d4 square would justify it, my position to some degree. Okay. No, he's threatening, not really threatening anything, let's say. But maybe, no, he's not really threatening anything. Okay. Let's move the king and wait and see what's going on here. This is a brilliant positional game by black. Like the other knight comes back to c6. I'm like playing Botvinnik or something. I noticed that Morales lately, I mean, his scores, he beat me once a couple games ago. He's been playing better and better. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he actually hasn't been playing on the stream that often the last couple times we've seen him, but whatever you've done, Morales, you seem to have gotten noticeably stronger. It's very apparent. I don't remember you being up that high, almost 2100 before. It's good. Now, at least, you know, it's not embarrassing to lose to a 2100 player. If you look at his blitz game, his blitz rating, what is it? 1886, though. Then it gets embarrassing. I'm like, oh man, people are starting to post things about me in forums, how weak I am. He's the guy who always loses to 1800s in blitz. Let's see. Nothing to do here, really. I mean, g4 just weakens my own king side. Basically paralyzed. Generally speaking, you don't want to trade pieces when you're down material. But I think in certain circumstances, like here, where this guy has this incredibly strong piece, which is just crushing me, you know, maybe it's okay to trade one set of pieces. You don't understand the king move? Prophylaxis. It's not a concrete move. It's a move that's almost always going to be useful. My king will be like less prone to attack. Yes, I'm not planning on an endgame here. Hyperpots are anyway. I'm down a pawn, so if you thought about the queen move in terms of like, hey, your king is further away from the center for the endgame, you're probably right. But anyway, that's like the last thing I'm worried about now. I mean, just the pawn down endgame is not what we're aiming for here. I want to try to keep the game complicated. I didn't know what to do and I'm about to lose on time. I mean, moving the king back and forth is an art. There's like one Russian candidate master I used to play, and he was like the world's leading expert on moving his king back and forth. I mean, it's a lost art. Not too many players can do that properly. This guy was like amazing. He knew the exact best times to just move your king back and forth and try to provoke you into overextending yourself. It's okay to admit you don't know what to do, and also it's just a waiting move, you know. So especially with the clock situation, if I'm behind on the clock, I need to make a quick move. That's probably pretty good. Here again, I don't really want to trade pieces. My king side's a little dubious here. He has more pawns than I do. I mean, in that area of the board. Maybe rook AE is a good start now. And then obviously we have f4, f5, but I wanna make sure we do that in the right time. This move looks weird. It's like white's... Well, he's also banking on maybe knight g4, though. He's got that and that, actually. So there's something to bishop c5. It's not that stupid. He can get in there two different ways. And he dropped a pawn now. So he's starting to kind of lose his confidence and lose his control of the situation. Now white is at least equal. Probably better based on my queenside majority. I mean, still he's okay here. He's not down in the material and he has good control, fairly good control of the center. But he started to kind of fade. He's starting to fade away. No squares for the queen laterally. We just resume the attack now. But let's not get overly ambitious. f4, f5 is an idea, but it does give him knight d5. Best move. Very good move by black there. Maybe it's better to be more patient here. If I fart around, he'll have something good there. All right. I guess I have knight d5, f5, queen takes g3. That's not good for me. We do have knight takes d5, knight d5, bishop takes d5, pawn takes d5. Try to trap his bishop on g6 with something like rook e5. Or rook e5 right away, I was thinking about. But he's got to do knight d5 here with play. I can play knight e4. That's also good. Bob, what's up, man? We're here to play unsound gambits. I try not to do that too much, but that's what we did here. Totally unsound gambit. And now, what's he doing? What am I doing? f5. Oh no. You have to play a move before it's too late now. Secret sauce. Alright, I don't know. I just gotta go. He's pretty good at blitz, this guy. Got a strong attack now. Can he really give me the f7 pawn? Lame. Totally lame continuation. This is like a disaster. He had knight h5 there, I think. Whoa. The last mistake in a game filled with many. Yeah, this opening was not good for me. Is there any way to actually play it though? Seriously? e4 takes. So it's been played by players. Some Italian guy. Paschall. I've heard of him. Knight g5. Now the best move is apparently e5, which would be a reversed Nimzovich. It seems like. Not Nimzovich, but what do you call it? Similar to Nimzovich. That would be the other knight. Yeah, e5. Okay, bishop f5. Wow. So white did g4. Apparently you got to take matters into your own hands here. g4. I'm not sure this is any better than what I did, man. I mean, bishop f5 is probably a good move for black. Alright. An unsound victory. Dracafire's up next. Please don't play that opening, guys. It's just for Weird Wednesday. e4, d5, knight f3 is not a good idea. Seriously. Do not do as I do. Do as I say. Ponda knows the lesson, right? He told me not to play h4. But I watched him do it all the time in games when he was on tilt. That's how I learned to play h4 back in the day. Watching him play countless games with h4 every single game and h5. It's just rumor. Okay, Drakfire, what are we gonna do? The knight a3, let's bust it out. I haven't played this in a long time. The Zvygintsev. Popular 10 years ago. Since gone out of fashion. The first time this was played against me, I spent a long time. I must have spent like 15 minutes deciding on my second move, and I don't know why I didn't play. You know, I never really seriously thought about g6 that much, but g6 makes some sense. You know, that might be my choice if I had to do it today. On the other hand, it might just transpose to a normal c3 Sicilian. But it would have been a simple solution for me since I play g6 as black in the c3 Sicilian quite often. Interesting. Feels like I really need to play e5 here. I think we could do maybe some kind of Rosenthalis with like e5 and g3 maybe. Rosenthalis, the Lithuanian grandmaster, famous for like playing g3 in the c3 Sicilian. It's not that common. I mean, it makes sense. You know, you don't want to put your bishop on c4 here. I mean, you can, actually. This could even transpose. Bishop c4, knight b6, bishop b3, bishop g7, knight f3. You might transpose some kind of normal line there. But I was thinking g3. Okay, how are we going to play it after like g3? Let's just play. Okay, bishop c4 is another way to play. Just that it blocks my knight from approaching one of its key squares. So do I play f4 or do I play without f4? It's a lot of pawns on dark squares. Pawn. We start to develop an extra pawn on c1. If you play f4, just a joke, guys. d4. I mean, developing the pieces sometimes can be useful. Deferring the decision, essentially. Okay, here, I don't know about this. Let's see. f4, d6, he's going to break my center. Black playing in a beautiful hyper-modern style here. Drakfire also playing the English. He's not a subscriber. I mean, I haven't played that many games, although we have 29. I don't know anything about him. It's weird because he was playing b3 for the first many games and then seemed to switch to the English. And now he's playing the English really well. This is essentially an English reversed. Carlsen retreat, and not necessary here. No, his way is better. I mean, knight d5 is definitely better here. It's different in Alekhine's defense or Alyakhin's defense because, you know, I played c3 early. He doesn't have to fear c4 kicking his knight off of d5. I think this is a huge difference, actually. Alright, whatever. Weakening my position. Playing the Dutch. Playing the Dutch. It's all right. It's all right. We've got a basic Leningrad Dutch with the white pieces here. It's fine. Now I guess we'll go knight f3. Castle kingside. For lack of a better plan. Space. The final frontier. Now, in this case, I think that if he plays d6, we take, he can consider taking with the pawn now. Suddenly the e-file becomes a factor. So I'm not sure anymore if we actually want to take on d6 or we want to let him take on e5 at this point. I mean, it seems like the situation is changing. Another problem is that if he goes something like b6, bishop a6, I had to be prepared. Now this is a kind of very risky strategy for black, I would say. Thematic to some degree, but I think this is unnecessarily risky for black to play f6, to risk his own king side. d6 is much more fundamental. Of course, he can still play d6. What is the best way to learn chess? You just started 2 days ago. Oh my god. That's the whole lifetime to learn. And a few minutes to master. Difficult to recommend. Wait a minute. I didn't have queen c4 check, right? That doesn't look that convincing. This is like materialistic, losing coordination. So, what is the best way to learn chess? Well, you need to do, I think, a combination of study and playing. You know, it's one or the other is not really enough. I think that's the moral of the story. Very aggressive. Look at this rook. b6. Ultra hypermodernism. Combination of study and play. You know, I recommend playing longer games, especially if you're a beginner. Don't fall into the trap of being like sucked into playing like 1 minute chess. I mean, if you just started chess 2 days ago, you really, really shouldn't try to play fast games. I don't think it's good for you. It's not that good for anybody, but don't get caught in that trap. And study books. I think, like, you know, getting a good book or a couple good books is better than watching random YouTube videos. There's also a lot of kind of low quality YouTube videos you could watch that could actually teach you bad habits. I mean, if you buy books, most of them are pretty well vetted. Of course, there are good YouTube videos out there too. I mean, stuff like that. Yeah, like John Bartholomew's okay. But you got to be careful. You know, most people don't know the difference between John Bartholomew and some kind of total random guy. If you don't know chess, you can't tell the difference, and you can fall into the trap of learning from people who are teaching, you know, bad habits, basically. I haven't had time to post too many YouTube videos lately. I have a YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube, but I mostly put my streams up there. But that's good enough. You know, even if you had time to just watch my stream every day, it would point you in the right direction. Not to like plug myself, but at least I know that I'm creditable. Here, pawn takes pawn. Alright, I can't just get dominated in the center. This is really interesting game by black. Very aggressive play. How about bishop g5 now? Queen d7. Just helping him develop with that move. No time for that, basically. Now here he has some interesting moves like knight d5. Oops. I have queen e6 check. Never mind. So that's not on the table. I can seriously look for tactics with bishop takes. Okay. I mean, bishop takes c7 and queen e6 check, trying to win a pawn, is like ultra materialistic. Probably not great. But I have to do something. Knight d6 drops 2 pieces for the rook. Perfect timing on a sack there for black. So here we are, just doing our Nimzovich impression. I'm not even sure if I have an advantage here. I might even be worse. He's played great. Doesn't have many games. Dracofire, do you have like another account or something? You just play unrated. What's wrong with Knight Takes? Well, the problem, I guess, is 96. I answer my own questions. It's always handy to do that, but this is actually okay. Probably turns out to be a fairly okay played game. Black's been very aggressive and finding moves quickly. Very, very natural play, flowing. But he's made a few more pawn weaknesses with d5. This is kind of a target, so he has to be careful. He's not overextended. Now maybe he finally started to lose it here. Tactically, this is going to be problematic for Black, I think. The weaknesses now starting to count. At least I know I'm credible. Somebody's credible around here. Incredible, maybe not, but credible. I am credible. You hear the church bells. That's my opponent's funeral. It's 12 o'clock, guys. Time for lunch. Oh no, he found a defense. Wait. Not so fast. Is he absolutely lost here? Does Black have Queen E8 now? Should lose a piece somehow, but does it? Does Queen E8 seriously defend? Somehow I win a piece. How does I was getting confused though. Queen E8. Okay, so I can play Queen takes E8 and then take on C8 and then play Knight E7 check. Okay, this is the variation that's gonna win a piece for me eventually. No, nice try, Dracofire. I think you were probably doing all right there for a while. Position is about equal, it looks like. But if we go back to move 9, I mean, I just think that f6 is unnecessarily risking your king position. You know, you need to play d6 here. It's just fundamental and thematic. Break the center with a central pawn, you know, and mobilize your bishop from c8. I mean, there's really no reason to get funky with the f6. You have a good game here. Okay, this guy's challenging me to rated. We don't do rated. Bob is up 7 plus 3. How would I have dealt with rook e8 instead of knight takes knight? Well, I think we had knight takes knight. I don't know. I think I had ways to keep my e5 supported. I could play, you know, even d4 and not in that position, but at some point later on if I move my queen. I thought I could do something. Now I can't remember. Alright, so Bob, I was playing e5 today. Last time did I play the Latvian against Bob? I think I did. I played the Latvian, but I'm not going to do that again. That's too risky. Let's play knight c6. You checked it, it would lose a piece or... You lose a piece or black? Lose a piece for black, Bob played the Scotch. The Scotch symmetrical. I'm trying to remember. Maybe Bronstein talked about this in 200 Open Games. That can't be right. Let's do it. This has to be unsound. Well, it's unsound, but it's almost sound. the thing against Morales was really unsound. I mean, this is probably on the same level, around the same level. Come on, Bob. Transpose to the Asterbate system. Pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, bishop e3. It's actually a different position. If you imagine our knights back on f1 and b8, maybe you get the game with Asterbate. Pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, bishop e3. No, that's still different, isn't it? Another funny opening, e4, e5, d4, d5. Actually, Rubinstein apparently spent his later years pondering the possibilities of d4, d5, c4, c5. The symmetrical Queen's Gambit. But I'm just trying to remember if in 200 open games, which I have around here somewhere, if David Bronstein actually talked about this position, or it was a knight on f6. I can't recall. Bob just maintains the tension. There's no way that's the best move. It may not be a bad move, Bob, but there's no way that's the best move. When there's this much tension, like, there almost has to be a resolution. Bob let me get away with something. Pull a fast one, basically. Okay, maybe it's still fine for white, but this can't be your best move here, and there has to be a pawn capture or knight capture. Practically with that much tension, you really can't maintain the tension, and it's still the optimal move. Alright. So, if I play pawn takes e4, he takes back with the... Well, he actually has two good moves there. He could play knight takes e5. So I don't like that. I mean, that alone is probably slightly better for white. ed4, knight takes d4. As I said, I mean, Bob's position is still fine, but I feel like he let me get away with something. Having said that, still you have to play a move, right? You like this variation. Knight takes e5, knight takes e5, d takes e5, queen takes d1 check. Yeah, okay, this is probably fine. It's the second suggestion I've taken off of Hyperpotzer today. Was it you earlier whose move I played? But that's not the end of the world for me. Generally, I recommend people to keep the tension, keep the tense situation on the board, especially when you have the first move or you have more space. When you're the better superior side, aka superior side, you know, keeping the tension is to your benefit. When you're inferior, you're moving second or you have less space. Oftentimes you want to trade pieces to kind of relieve the cramp. It appears Bob is offering like a temporary pawn sacrifice of sorts here. Alright, I challenge or accept. Here's a neat move like queen e2 now, playing for smothered mate, or sorry, double mate, double checkmate. Smothered mate. It's like a smothered mate, sort of. This is a good move, I guess. Except the fact that it's not. We have like the classic queen d5. Knight c3, queen e6 check wins a piece. So don't try anything super funky there. Right, now queen takes with the position. With the position, I mean, pawn takes is possible. It would jettison my structure for eternity. Bob has given up his white square bishop. So now what? Commitment of sorts, Mr. Bob. I think you have to take the queen on d4 now to protect your knight. And then it gets weird. Bishop g4, knight e5, stuff like that could be very bad for me. So I bet the computer probably promotes some variation like queen takes d4, knight f6, like just letting my structure get isolated, but having two bishops and having a really okay game. Queen takes d4, knight f6, challenging the powerful knight. Knight takes f6 check, g takes f, castles kingside. Where's my king going to go there? You know, I don't have really... With the queen on d4, I can't castle queenside. That's a problem. So maybe that variation's out. If queen takes d4, I'm going to play bishop e6. And if knight e5, I have queen d5 back with a good game. With bishop e6, I have the idea of rook d8, dropping a pawn on a7. No, seriously, queen takes d4, bishop e6. Instead, he plays queen e2, which is interesting. Not what I expected, but a completely strong move. Wow. So now he has knight d4 and this discovered checks, which are really, they're not mate now at least, but still very disruptive. No bishop g4, let's say. Dude, you're not allowed to play that. Queen e2. Come on, leave me alone. Basically, we have two problems, but the main problem being our king position in the center. The problem is bishop e6 would be a good move, but wait, has knight takes d4 with tempo, and that's just groveling for equality at best. It's hard to protect d4 and guard against the threat on the e-file. Maybe impossible to do both. Bob, nice move, queen e2. Though relatively easy to spot, I really should have expected this, and I didn't see it. Bishop g4, knight f6 check wins a piece. Okay, guys, help me find a move here. He offers a draw. Oh, no. Bob has one draw, to his credit, in game 5. Game 5 of the match. I'm not ready yet. I'll leave the draw offer on the table while I think about this. You know, if Bob was higher rated and this was like a tournament game, if this was a tournament game against another master, you know, I would probably be inclined to be agreeable to a draw. But, because objectively I sense the position is at least equal for white. But I can't do that, Bob. Can I? I mean, knight d4 is a problem. Bishop e7, maybe? Knight d4. I practically have to play bishop e7. Knight d4. Then where? Where do I put my queen? Queen g6, perhaps? We're going to have problems with c7 now. It's kind of messed up. Where am I putting my queen? On the capture on d4. Answer me this. Bishop e6, knight takes d4. How bad is that? Is that like the lesser of the evils for real? I don't like this. Just doesn't seem right for me. If he goes for something like knight b5, I can castle sack my a7 pawn. There's no bishop e3 here, and if he settles out of court with knight takes e6, queen takes e6, queen b5 check, I have c6. But he's certainly fine. I mean, knight takes e6, queen takes e6, castles, and it's equal. I may be going too far, you know, declining the draw here with no advantage and less time. If it was an online blitz game, I'd probably play it. You know. I've got to play. Bob is way too much lower rated for me. You know, it's too expensive to take a draw. It's like 50 rating points if this is a rated game. rapid rated. No way I would take it. I'd have to just risk it. Unless I was clearly losing. If I'm lost, then I'll take the draw, Bob. But since I'm not lost, I'm not going to take the draw. I'm curious to see after the game what the computer engine variation is for black. Bishop e7 felt like at least it develops a piece. But I didn't know where to put the queen. I guess I would do the same thing. Luckily, like queen b5 doesn't win. Or maybe it does. Maybe it has some perverse variation there. Queen b5 checks c6, queen takes b7, queen takes e4 check. No, it's not going to work. Okay, bishop f4. You know, now I'm good. Good as in not worse. With threats of f5. Well, I mean, he can still move his knight away. Let's say castle's kingside, f5, knight moves, trade queens, and black is probably just equal. I don't have to play f5 though. We probably have better move. Although I'm not sure. Not a very exciting position now at this stage. He really has nothing better than the castle, I would say. Does he have knight g5? No big deal. I mean, if he plays knight g5, he could actually force a trade of queens here. If he wants a draw, he did offer a draw. If he wants a draw, maybe that's like, you know, a good way to try to force a draw. Here now, similar move. Took with the knight, very safe. I don't know if I should play knight f6. We should give Bob a draw. He's losing. Oh, he declined my draw offer. Alright. I tried to offer him a draw. He won't listen to reason. It's the last draw offer I ever offer you, Bob. I'll just resign. Make a good move, man. You can make a good move. This is objectively equal. I lost my will to win here. It's just too boring. Let's move on to another game. I don't mind winning. Fixing the pawn. The wrong couloir. Where's my knight going after like c4, knight b4, knight d3? Fix his pawn on h4. Black's a tiny bit better now. Too late. I've told the story before how my friend was playing this guy who was much lower rated and offered my friend a draw. And my friend was like, no. And then later, this guy was like a draw master. He loved to play for draw. Later, when there was a counter offer, my friend was like losing. The guy was like, it is late. Totally Darth Vader style. Now Bob has lost the thread. And the pawn. Ponda. Guys, we have time for one more game. I just want to see the opening. This is funny. So d5, it's really not a good move. No real strong players played this. So knight takes e5 is like universally played. I think it's almost like an elephant gambit. Some crazy guy played it against Bobby on. Bob played the novelty knight c3. This is equality. This is instant 0 after this. Totally new position. D takes e4, knight takes e4. Yeah, knight takes e5, which was suggested, is a totally normal move. Surprised that doesn't transpose to something. Knight takes e4 now, f5. I did this pawn capture, and there's an actual game. Velimirovich with white in 2002. Bob, you're in good company. But Bob played bishop e5 novelty. We've got another game now. Someone played bishop d7. But my move is more risky. I thought knight c3 like loses a piece. Oh, that's messed up. I had some weird hallucination. So you can literally play knight c3, Bob. For some reason I thought you're losing a piece, but you're not. You just come back here. Duh. So queen e2 first is an improvement on Bob. He played this exchange first, which isn't so good. Computer doesn't know which way to recapture. I like queen takes. So here, Bob uncorked queen e2. And it does appear that bishop e7... I don't understand bishop e4 checks c3. I suppose I have... I don't know what I have. What is the deal with bishop b4 checks c3? What am I missing there? d3? Okay, I don't understand how that works. I must allow a discovery. Oh my god. There is d3. There's also d takes c3. Wow, so my king goes here. I could just let him do the ultimate knight discovery. That's insane. But here, queen d3, bishop f5, that's a really bizarre line. An idea would be pawn takes, and if queen takes f5, then I have bishop takes c3 check. A lot of crazy stuff, Bob. So let's finally see bishop e6 here. Bishop e7 is better. Knight takes e4. I'm supposed to play queen c4. More accurate than my move. Knight takes e6, queen takes e6, and the computer's giving Bob a big edge here after castles. Wow. I didn't think it was that bad. Totally symmetrical. Nah. I mean, my stockfish has got a little excited. White is slightly better. Bishop f4, castles queenside. This is around the point when Bob offered a draw. Knight c3, and this is equal. You should take with the king, maybe. He was probably concerned about bishop e4, though. I can understand that. Yeah. It's hard. Okay, last game, guys. What do we got? No challenges. No last game. Last chance. Anybody for one last game before I have to go? We've got last game. 5+3 is preferable. We don't really have time for a 7+3. If somebody wants to challenge me to 5+3, that'll be the last game today. Usually keep pawns on different color when the same colored bishop's in the end. Yeah, you want to keep your pawns the opposite color of your bishop for two reasons. I mean, you don't want them to be targets to the enemy's bishop, and you also don't want your own bishop to be restricted. Again, Weird Openings Day, HGG, and we already played HGG, so I'll take the challenge from Yabatis for 5+3. Anyway, Spectacular Account is a subscriber too, so we have to take his challenge. That's it for today, guys. I'm going to close down the rest of the challenges. Gesundheit. Knight c6, so knight c3. It's already an unusual opening. A game versus an IM is a $5 value. That's cool. Yeah, maybe in Washington Square Park or something. E4. I always play this line. It's kind of lesser known. Takes a knight c6. Today is free. A $5 value for free. Back in the day, I used to play for $3, Bob. But times have changed. That was 20 years ago. When I was playing chess for money in the cafe, the $3 was the going rate. But we'll do 5. In 2018, it's up to 5. Inflation. Knight c6. This was an SOS by Jeroen Bosch, like 10 years ago. Bishop c4. 1-800-discountgames.com. Okay, bishop c4. I don't remember. I think I have to play bishop f5. There's not that much theory on this line. I mean, it's not like there are so many games that have reached this position. Probably. Knight c6 is rare, you know, and I always kind of liked it just because it's something different, not so much like main lines. There's some kind of trap that white can fall for. Oh yeah, I remember now. No, but that's different. Totally different line I'm thinking of. Some lines where black can play like knight to b4 somehow. Here it's not appropriate. This is a perfectly good way for white to play this, I think. I never know where my knight really should go. And what about putting my king somewhere? Queen d6 and castle queenside. That's the typical maneuver. But the queen can be kind of exposed on d6 to attack. Antonio, what? I have a link to a wonderful game by Duda against Aronian. How is Duda playing Aronian? Was Duda playing board 1? But this is from the Olympics? Or just some other tournament, Antonio? I thought, for some reason, I thought Duda was on board 4. Was he playing board 1? Or is this just another tournament? I'll just ask the same question in different order of words. Fill up time here. Yeah, I mean, there is something artificial about these positions where my knight is blocking my c-pawn, of course. It's not really optimal. And another question is, should my other knight go to f6, or should that come out here somehow? Duda. Yeah, he played here. I wasn't in those tournaments. It was like around 2009, 2010. I rarely played in First Saturday. I mean, I know Duda played in First Saturday at least once. It's a regular tournament here in Budapest. Although I don't like the current playing site, I never go out there. It's too far. The organizer moved the tournament to a very stupid place, and it's just inconvenient. It would take me 45 minutes to go there or something. I really don't want to be hassled with that. So, yeah, let's just get developed. Anyway, I've never met Duda. But this is just my only question. Was the linked game by Antonio Olympic game? Does anyone know? 45 minutes seems a long time to go from one side of a city to the other side of a city, but maybe that's just me. I mean, if we're traveling like, you know, somewhere within our state or something, it seems normal. Basically, to go to a tournament site that used to be 5 minutes away from me is now 45 minutes away. Yabatis just hung his d4 pawn. Going for that bishop. Not a good idea. I got lucky. Picked up a free pawn, an important one. Once you've been spoiled with the 5-minute journey, the 45-minute one seems forever. Okay, this move may actually not be that good because it's early. I'm still asleep, man. I need to go back to have another nap. Another nap. Need some fresh air. Get the window open. It's freezing here. September was warm, but man, suddenly the temperature has changed and it's chilly. I guess that's what happens in October. Okay, man, H3. No need to think here. A tricky answer. Well, that's fine. Greed is good. Thank you guys for watching and joining my stream. Don't forget, tomorrow night is our subscriber stream. I'll have to make a note to remind everybody. Tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. If you'd like to submit a game for analysis, please do so to my account here, Sparkle Horse. What are you doing? Your bodice is totally not there. Dude, your rook is hanging. Go have another cup of coffee, and I'll see you later. You guys, Bob, you're spying on me. You're checking the temperature, the local temperature. Weather.com doesn't work in Hungary. You have to use AccuWeather, something like that. Why did I retreat this night? I'm not really sure. It's kind of a cheapo. Trying to play like rook, rook here. That might actually win a piece if I were on the move. Personal weather satellite. That's good. But it can tell you all places in the world. I find a lot of websites are like inaccurate when you're in the United States and you try to like get a weather report on like a European place. It tells you it's like cloudy and it's like totally the opposite. So this is 2 pieces for the rook at least. Yabatis is not fully there today. Now he's down a full piece. Can we get a mate? Please take on A7. He wants to do it. That's basically like self-inflicted gunshot wound to the foot. A better move. That is a better move. He's going to get 1 pawn back, and P just continue to be an annoyance to me with rook e1. No, he didn't do it. He doesn't want to get that pawn back. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for cooperating. Got to get that pawn back, man. Now I can hang on to it. Okay, he still has f3 type of tricks. Trading rooks. Dude, you're down a piece. Force field. Welcome to the force field. Okay. Let me see the opening. You probably had the better of it there. I gotta go, guys. Pawned myself are out. I just want to check this opening while we're still streaming. Knight c6, bishop c4 might well be the best move. I think one of my games was there. How's that possible? Wow, that's crazy. Dude. Who is that even? That's messed up. There's a game I don't even know who that person is. Reistash Peter 2433. That's insane. I never heard of this person, and I certainly didn't play anyone 2433. Okay, this doesn't make sense. Where was this game played? 2004? That's kind of disturbing. Like, I don't think I would play knight e7 either. Maybe in a blitz game. Wait, did I miss a move? There's something highly suspicious about this game. I don't know who the person is. I don't remember it at all. The rating doesn't ring a bell. Some of the moves are like crazy. What is this? Wow. The only thing I can think of, it's like some kind of online game. I would unlikely play like this in an over-the-board game. There's something vaguely familiar about it. The second possibility is that whenever this game was entered in a database, they messed up the name for white. That's the most serious possibility, I think. Not clear if this was played online. And if I won, it's like very strange. What is it, a draw? It's a draw, okay. The most likely explanation is that it was a different player playing white. Because this person I've never even heard of. We'll sue FIDE for this game. Really good game. 10 cent upon loss for me. 9 cent upon loss for white. There's something vaguely familiar about that, but I have the feeling it must have been some sort of online game. But that looks like a real legitimate FIDE rating. Like, I think I had that exact rating once. So probably something from online. Alright guys, I'll see you later. Have a great one. And we'll be back tomorrow night with our subscriber stream at 6:30 p.m. Thanks everyone for watching and subscribing and supporting the stream. Thanks guys. See you tomorrow night. Bye bye.